Hi, I am Beth Greenham, Ms. Galaxy 2019, and this is my interview with the Pageant Project.
Hi guys, it's Adrian from the Pageant Project. I apologise for the delay. It was completely my fault, not Beth's. My computer decided to have tech issues. But welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How are you? Where are you exactly?
I am in the UK, in Liverpool in England, and it's a very dull, grey, horrible day outside. So it's making me so excited to go to Florida the day after tomorrow.
It's supposed to be summer for you, isn't it?
England doesn't really get a summer. We have like the occasional odd day of sunshine, and everyone makes the most of it. It's only probably 20 degrees, but everyone's out in their bikinis anyway.
I've spent a bit of time in the UK, and it's funny. Yeah, when it gets 2025, everyone thinks it's a heat wave and goes out.
Yes, shorts, t-shirts, sandals, but I'm sure in most places that's just average.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Guys, if you have any questions for Beth, let her know below and I'll pass them on. I did get a flurry of questions for you on Instagram, and Ruby Hill is saying that she can hear us, so that's perfect. Thank you, Ruby. Appreciate it.
That's good. How are you doing?
And Ruby I'll be interviewing, I think, in a couple of days. But Beth, let's circle back to you. So you're Ms. Galaxy 2019. Can you take us back, give us an idea of your sort of pageant history, because I'm going to imagine this is not the first pageant you competed in.
No, it's certainly not. I started competing when I was around 17 or 18, and it really wasn't as popular as it is now in the UK. In fact, it was unheard of, and generally you only really heard of the regionals for Miss England to go to Miss World. But I took part in just a really small local competition that my auntie entered me into without sort of any warning, and won on my first go. So it really became a bug straight away. I think once you experience it, you can't let go, can you? You want more, you want bigger, you want better, you want more experiences.
Yeah.
And that was when I was 17 or 18, so back in around 2007, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And really just gone from there, and it went from small local pageants to national pageants to international pageants. I've been so fortunate to have had so many unbelievable experiences in pageantry.
Can you count how many that you've competed in, or has it been so many that you've lost count by now?
Probably have lost count. I would say I've probably done one or two a year since 2007, 2008. So Where are we now? About 12 years later. So
that's a fair few. That's a fair few on your CV. You mentioned that your auntie entered you in the pageant without your knowledge. So you certainly share something with our international director and fearless leader, Maria, who was entered by her mother. And I've had a couple of other people entered by their mother without their sort of prior knowledge. Do you have any idea why your auntie entered you? Was it to overcome shyness? Was it just to keep you out of trouble, or as a joke? Why did she enter you?
I think it was because I have always danced. I've always been on stage. I've always been a performer. It's in our family to take centre stage. So I think she knew it would be my thing, something that I would really enjoy, and she was so right.
So can you tell us more about the Galaxy journey in particular? So I don't know if the UK works the same as it does here in Australia. Here in Australia, we have state finals, so sort of New South Wales or Queensland, and then if you win that, you become a national finalist, and then if you win the national final, then you get a chance to represent your country, and obviously you won internationals. What was your journey to the crown like?
So here in the UK, it's a national final.
Mm-hmm.
You are given, your regional upon application. And I have actually competed in Galaxy twice now.
Oh, wow.
I
Okay.
was Miss Galaxy UK in 2010. And so I had already competed at Galaxy International
Hmm.
once before, and I had made the top five in 2010, but didn't quite make the win. So I knew I had the bug for Galaxy,
Mm.
especially back then. But obviously, once you have held your title in your age division, you have to wait until you move up. So it
Yeah.
was actually perfect for me because I could go away, have some more experiences, grow up a lot as well. I was only 20
Mm.
the first time I competed, and I think maturity counts for a lot of why I was
Yeah.
so successful here. Um, and so yeah, so I'd competed in 2010 before, and I was just waiting for another chance, another shot at the crown. And, yeah, this year it happened. So it's been a long journey, but it's been a really positive one.
You mentioned the maturity you found it helped, and I actually put up a post about that today, just saying, I think maybe yesterday, saying if you need to take a break from pageantry, then that's a good idea because you can come back as, let's say, a better person or a more mature person.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people I know have taken maybe a couple of years off, sometimes even a longer break. How would you say the person who competed and won this year differed from the one who competed back in 2010?
I think in 2010 I was really still, learning who I was. I
Mm.
was I was only 20 years old and I was still in university. I didn't have a career. I still lived with my parents, so I'd never sort of had to, fend for myself or anything like that. And I think you learn an awful lot about yourself through relationships, through friendships, through your career. And I hadn't had any of those things yet. So
Mm.
I think you do take those things into your interview, onto your stage performance, or things like that. So, yeah, and you're so lucky if by 20 you already do know who you are. But from a personal experience, looking back, I
Mm.
didn't. I really.
Yeah. Can you give us an idea who you think you might have been without pageantry, or maybe the biggest lessons you've learned about yourself in pageantry? I know it's hard when you've done it for that many years and you've done that many pageants, but without
Yeah.
pageantry, who would you be? Who would be in front of me today?
Oh, I would say probably somebody who is far less self-aware. I
Right.
feel like I'm so much more confident. I've had so many more opportunities. I've seen so much more of the world, experienced different cultures, and that has all been thanks to competing. And
Mm.
and it's not every day that you get to spend 3 weeks in Japan or 2 weeks in Thailand with people from all over the world, where you really have to learn sort of the different way people are brought up, the different way people handle stressful situations, amazing situations, and you have to grow up quickly and learn to
Mm.
be sort of the best version of yourself. And I think that's what I take into, job interviews, friendships, relationships, all that sort of thing now, which I didn't think I would have had unless it was for pageantry. It's a hobby that teaches you a lot of life lessons.
Absolutely. Tammy Lynette has she's going on about your crown. She says your crown is gorgeous.
Oh,
Can you tell, actually, I mean, can you tell us a bit
yeah.
about the crown? Because this is definitely one of the prettiest and most intricate crowns I've ever seen.
It's so stunning, isn't it? Honestly, I think Maria has really, really perfected it, got it spot on this year. I think over the years the Galaxy Crown has changed a lot, but
Right.
I might be biased, but I think this is probably the best one.
I'm just going to find the question. Sorry. Do you have to give this crown back, or do you get to
No,
keep this one?
it's mine forever. I don't think I would be giving it back. I think I'd be keeping it.
I'm just going to go through to the questions. So I left a sticker. Okay, so I've got a few questions here for you, Beth. And guys watching, if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get them through to Beth. But this is from a person that I interviewed over here. She actually went overseas for the first time, competed, I think 2 weeks ago. She got back and she's already saying she's having pageant withdrawals. So one of her questions, so this is Danika's questions. I think she has 3 of them. She's asked you, what is next in terms of pageantry or future goals?
In terms of pageantry, I currently don't have any plans. I don't know whether people know, but I also got married this year.
Congratulations.
So thank you. So I am, looking on settling down a little bit more, concentrating on family, careers. It's been a very long journey, and pageantry, when you really commit yourself to it, can be very time consuming. And I've had the most wonderful time doing it. But for the moment, there are no further pageant plans. Future goals are really just to stay happy, have the most amazing time with my husband, continue to excel in my career, and have some downtime. Weekends with just family and friends, and not sort of so many commitments.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. You mentioned your career. So what is the career, Beth?
I studied mathematics at university, and I have a career in finance at the moment. I work in the head office of one of the UK's biggest banks, and currently I work in quality assurance, and I just want to be a better version and always excelling. I'm really motivated by success in what I do, so hopefully just moving upwards.
Yeah. I think you might be the first queen I've interviewed who studied mathematics at university. It's a world of firsts.
I don't know how many of us there are, but yeah.
So Danica has also asked, how did you prepare for Galaxy?
I prepared for Galaxy, I think, like we were saying in the previous questions, for the past, 10 or 12 years, because I think you take so much from every experience you've had into your interview, into your on-stage performance. But short term, last year, I really committed myself to a local charity called the Ronald McDonald House for Older Hay Children's Hospital, which is here in Liverpool. And it's really nice when you connect with the charity and they support you just as much. So I worked closely with them. I shopped endlessly, as most pageant girls probably do, because you want to feel like you're putting your best foot forward when you step into orientation, don't you? And feel like the most confident version of who you are. And I just ate well, I trained, I spent plenty of time with the UK Queens, because there was 10 of us. So, we were all in the same situation, and any sort of nerves anyone else was having, there'd be someone to talk it through with who was feeling the same. So yeah, just lots of pageant time. You can't beat it, can you?
Absolutely. Just backtrack a bit. You said there were 10 UK Queens. So can you run us through the 10? Because here in Australia, we have teen. Oh, God, I hope I don't miss them. So teen, Miss, Ms. So your division, and Mrs. Yeah. So how did you guys have 10?
So we had Mrs. Galaxy UK, Ms. Galaxy UK, me, Junior Miss Galaxy UK. That was 3 of us. Then there was the teen and the miss was split into England, Scotland and Wales.
Right, okay.
So we took 3 for the miss and 3 for the teen. And then because it was the 10th anniversary of UK Galaxy Pageants, they actually ran a Galaxy 10 competition where every runner-up from each division got to recompete on the final night. And whoever won that out of the 9 girls who were runner-up got the 10th crown. And that was actually Joanna Johnson, who won the Miss Galaxy International Festival.
So that worked out pretty well.
She was our 10th member, yeah.
Wow. I mean, I imagine that you've competed in some pageants just by yourself. So how much of a difference does it make having that sort of team?
It makes a huge difference. And honestly, any opportunity you're given within pageantry to go and compete is absolutely amazing. But I think it's more the support of someone who has grown up in a similar environment to you, a similar culture to you, because they understand sort of the wavelength that you're on. If you're finding anything hard, if you're stressed, if you're sick, you can just relate to them so much more easily. And I think being with girls from the UK, it's just a bit of mental and emotional support for you while you're there, because it can be testing,
Sure.
you know, being you're up early to bed late, you're tired, but you're trying so hard to make an impression from the get-go, not just the day of the competition. So yeah, it's just nice to have each other.
Absolutely. I mean, you've competed overseas a fair few times. You've been to a few countries, and obviously you've been to America, where pageantry is huge. Here in Australia, pageantry is quite small. How big is pageantry in the UK?
I imagine it's quite similar to Australia.
Right.
I mean, since I started, it's boomed. Like I can't believe how many systems there are, how much coaching there is. When I started, you put a pretty dress on, and if you were confident on stage, you would probably win. Like it was, you know, there was no sort of technique or anything to it, but it really has become a sport here now. You know, you can go to training, you can. The more experience you have, the better you're going to do. Well, saying that, that's probably not true, because I don't know if you know about Miss Galaxy UK this year had never entered before or had any training, but I really do think it is something that is so up and coming, and I really just hope it gets even bigger. Really deserves the platform it's getting.
You actually sound like you're a bit ahead of Australia just in terms of how quickly it's growing. I remember one of my American interviewees said that in America, pageantry is seen as very respectable. You can put it on your CV, for example, and that's seen as a really good thing. Is that anywhere near the case in the UK? It's certainly not here in Australia.
I don't know if it would be something, if you put it on your CV, would be, you know, a game changer as such. But I would like to think that we are becoming more open-minded about it, and it's seen as something to be respected, and people are definitely interested in it. I know people always want to know more. And for example, I know Miss Galaxy Scotland, Chloe Lake from last year, she has a career now in law, and she fully believes that her interview technique is thanks to pageantry, and she's been so successful for those reasons.
Wow.
But whether the people looking at the CV kind of have that same sort of, you know, positive reaction towards it the way they would in America, I'm not sure. Definitely interested, but just interested and want to know about it.
Sure. So not quite there yet. Danika's third question. This is a tricky one to answer, I think. What do you think made you stand out in comparison to the other girls or other women competing?
I think it is difficult because I kind of don't compete against the other girls. I don't think I really like to think that. Oh, sorry, did I disappear then?
That's
sorry.
Okay.
I really like to think that I more compete against myself. I like to go and kind of not do my best to not see the other girls as competition, just see them as girls to spend my week with, you know, almost bounce off them, take things from who they are and learn from them whilst I'm there. And I more see myself as my own competition. I just always want to be better than I was either the last competition or the day before, or if I kind of come out of something and think, oh, I could have done that a bit better, you know, up my game for the next round, that sort of thing. So I don't know whether I stood out against the other girls as such, or that wasn't the aim. The aim was more to think, last time I was here, I did X. This time I'm going to do Y and B, you know, an even better version of who that person was. Sure.
Did you have that attitude when you first started competing in pageantry, or was this something that you learned as you went on?
Something I learned.
I was going to say.
Definitely. I think when you're younger and you first enter these things, you go in and, you know, you weigh up what her hair looks like, what her body looks like, what did she say in her interview. And I think that only comes with age and self-confidence, where you think, actually doesn't matter. But so long as I think I did the best that I could do, you know, good on her if what she's got or said is better.
Exactly. Yeah, I was going to say, if you have that sort of attitude when you're in your teens, and I think you're light years ahead of your competition.
Yeah, no, that is not something that was there when I was younger.
Okay, so Michelle Dolan, who is Mrs. Galaxy Australia 2019, I'm just double checking my brain I think that's right, because I'm interviewing so many Galaxy girls, I just have to make sure I don't get your titles all mixed up. So she has asked, what's the best bit of advice you would give for us girls competing this year?
I actually spoke about this recently. I've been trying to do some Q&As myself on social media, and I know I was guilty of it in years gone by. But you know, the contestants go on the internet and you sit and you look, and you probably add them on Instagram and you see what they're doing, and you know you worry yourself and you let it get to you. As you know, she's working harder than I am. Is she prettier than I am? Is she going to be better in an interview than I am? You know, you overthink things, and you get there and you think, actually, she's probably been looking at another contestant and doing the exact same as I have. And my advice would be is don't let yourself get psyched out. You know, you really need to come with your game face on and your focus in place, and kind of don't let that affect your sort of attitude towards the competition.
Absolutely. I'm going to imagine that's another thing that you learnt over your years in pageantry as well, because that's a lesson that's hard to learn.
It's really hard to learn because it is intimidating. You want to do well, so you see other people and what they're doing, and you question yourself. You do.
Yeah. May Parry, I don't know if you know May Parry, but she has said Team 10 is the best.
May Parry is Junior Miss Galaxy, the international title holder. So hi May, she's I'm flying out to Florida with her on Friday.
Okay.
Team 10 is the best, 100%.
Perfect. Effie Murphy has said, having lived in Australia, I can honestly say UK is way more advanced than Australia when it comes to pageantry. However, I do see all the new systems popping up in Australia now, which is great. Sending my love to Beth, such a wonderful queen. Love, Mrs. International Curve, Effie. Do you know Effie?
I recognise the name, but I don't think we've ever met. But I do see her, you know, sort of moving in the same circles on social media and things like that.
Okay.
So, sorry, what was the question? Sorry?
She didn't actually ask you a question. She was basically saying, she was confirming that I think UK pageantry is in fact ahead of Australian pageantry. Although we do have new systems ourselves popping up. And then she's just said, you're a wonderful queen, and sent you love.
Well, sending lots of love back, and thank you very much.
And then Michelle Dolan, who's the Mrs. Galaxy Australia 2019, who asked you the question before, has said that you're right. So guys, if you have any more questions, put them in the comments below. Jessica Barclay has just written, yay, go Beth, in all capital letters.
I think she's for the UK title this year. So.
Right. Okay. Well, good luck there. Beth, can I ask you, because you said that you don't have any definitive pageant plans for the future just yet. Yeah. So if this was to be, let's say, your last pageant, at least for a while, how would you like to be remembered? What would you like your legacy to be?
I would really like to be remembered as the queen who turns up, but people sort of say, oh, here's my friend Beth, not here's Miss Galaxy. I think when an international queen or a national queen comes to appearances, comes to charity events, you know, if the girls there are, you know, vying for your title, or think in the future I would love to, you know, compete in the system that they're in, I think it can be quite, you know, sort of overwhelming and daunting. And, you know, these are people who you see on social media and you think, wow, I'd love to be like them. I hope people feel like they can come and talk to me, they can come and have a laugh with me, and they leave as my friend, not sort of, you know, oh, I met Ms. Galaxy. I hope they say I met Beth, and she inspired me to kind of be myself in pageantry. And if I win being who I am, that's so much more of a win than if, you know, you're trying to be what the judges want or what you think that system wants. I think that's why I'm such a champion for Galaxy, because it really does judge you on who you are, not kind of the the image they're trying to create of a certain brand for their system. It's just whether you're a really good person or not.
Yeah, let's just
So hopefully.
let's just go into that a bit, because the reason I'm interviewing, so this is Galaxy Week for me, is obviously because I interviewed Maria Torres and was sort of blown away with how just down to earth and authentic she was, which was hugely refreshing for me. So, and you've competed in Galaxy twice, to the international level. So what drew you back to the Galaxy system versus the other systems that you could have competed in?
I think it's that when you go to Galaxy, if you don't win, you don't come away questioning whether or not your placement was right or fair or justified. You kind of come away and know that you've been judged fairly. You when you look to the queens or the gals who placed higher than you have, you go, actually, yeah, she was amazing. You don't feel like there's kind of been any sort of prejudgment before they've met. No sort of, there's no sort of trend either. You can see that whoever the girl is who won is just because she's the best. There's no sort of pattern to it or what's recipe to win. And I don't think it's just that you're judged you're judged fairly and on who you are.
Yeah, which is honestly, it sounds simple, but that's a really big deal.
It's a huge deal because I think some of them are maybe more model focused, more social media, and that's their prerogative. It's their system. They do things they want to, but I want to go into something and be judged on who I am, not my abilities in other things.
What has been your favourite moment out of your reign? I mean, it'll be coming to a close soon, in a couple of weeks. So do you have a favourite 1, 2 or 3 moments from your reign this year?
I think so. I think going back to the UK Galaxy Girls is we held a ball, the 10 of us and some of the pageant mums. We organised a ball for the Christie charity, which is the UK's chosen charity that Galaxy supports. And we thought to finish off our national year all together, we would do a fundraiser for the Christie Cancer Charity. And it was just so refreshing to be around 10 women. Even more of us really want to involve the pageant mums. There's maybe 15 of us who organised it. And we all got on like a house on fire. And I think, 10 young girls all working together isn't always a recipe for success. Different personalities and all that sort of, but we honestly got on like an absolute house on fire, and that was really reflected in the success of the ball. We sold out tickets, we just had the most amazing night, and it's actually now become an annual event that the UK directors are going to hold every year. So for me, that really was the highlight, was not only the friendships that you gain from it, but the kind of success that friendship can contribute towards. So that for me really was the highlight since winning. Can
you tell us a bit more about was it the Christie charity? Because that's not one that I've heard of in Australia. Can you tell us more about what they do?
Yeah, I think they are a UK-based charity, and they offer cancer treatments that are outside of what our National Health Service can offer. So they are based in Manchester, and the funds go towards, therapies and alternative forms of treatment that we don't get through the NHS. So there is one now called a proton beam therapy, which is kind of a very concentrated therapy. And I think so far all of the UK's money that we've raised, because I think we raised $250,000 over the past few years, which is an amazing achievement for UK Galaxy pageants, has all gone towards that. And myself, Joanna and May, Junior Miss Galaxy, were given the opportunity to go just maybe 2 weeks ago and have a guided tour of their new reception and their new facilities that the UK Galaxy has contributed towards. So it was really rewarding to go and see, and knowing that you can see where the money you're working for is going towards just makes it all more worthwhile, doesn't it?
That's absolutely amazing. I mean, that sum of money. I mean, we're talking about Australia versus the UK. That's an amazing total. So well done on that. I'm just looking back at the comments here. Jessica Barclay has... Oh, let me go back up. Jessica Barclay has said the Galaxy UK community is amazing. Michelle Dolan has asked, any tips on how to prepare for interview?
Tips on preparing for interview. I think it's really important to remember how amazing you are. I think you can go in and think, I'm worried about what they're going to think of me, will they like me? And you wouldn't be here if you weren't worthy of it. So you have to go in and blow your own trumpet, which is something I think we struggle with, isn't it? Because it's not something not something that's easy always. But that's your opportunity to shine. Yeah. And if you don't go in and do that, you're kind of kidding yourself out of your shot.
Yeah. That's well said. I was curious, maybe that might be more of an issue for the UK girls and the Australian girls, because I was thinking this the other day. They tend to be a little bit... Well, Australians are called laid back, and then the UK people are always called reserved. So maybe that's an issue that...
Yeah, probably. Extra polite.
Yeah. Now, Jessica has also said, sorry, I'm late, joining from a very busy soft play. What's your best advice for finding appearances that add value? I want to make a difference with my appearances, not just go and take a photo and leave.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I also think it adds so much more substance to your interview when you're asked about it if your appearances are quality rather than quantity. And that's something that I think it's so important. And I think the way to do it, I think it can be difficult because some people do have, a natural connection to some charity, whether it's been something within your family or friends. And so you feel passionate. It took me a long time to find something that I could really relate to. But I think you have to go to all of the events and that you're invited to, and if you haven't got a natural connection somewhere, you will find one. Try and really involve yourself, talk to the owners of the charities or the people who are running the events, and just offer to go back and build a friendship with them rather than just being, like she says, being there for the photo opportunity.
Yeah. So basically it's a lot of hard work, because some people are blessed with that network, but not all of us are.
No, agreed.
Jessica has also said, just summed up so much of why I love Galaxy and can't wait for the next ball. We've booked our tickets and hotel already.
Amazing news. Can't wait to see you.
So, guys, if you have any more questions for Beth, leave them below. Beth, when are you heading over to America? It's in a few days, isn't it?
I go on Friday, yeah. So about 48 hours time, I'll be on the plane.
Wow.
Yeah. So really soon. It's emotional. It's sad.
Sad.
I've dreamt of. Yeah, because I dreamt of this time last year for over 10 years, and now it's almost over. So yeah.
There is a Mrs. division.
There is, but I think once you've had your moment, you've won your international title. There's so many other gals who deserve their opportunity, don't they?
Oh, I appreciate where that's coming from. Apart from being really sad that you're going, what and the weather, which we talked about way back at the beginning of the interview, what are you most looking forward to?
I am really looking forward to seeing the other international queens. Obviously, I get to see May and Joanna fairly often. We do quite a few appearances together because the UK really isn't that big. It doesn't take us long to get to one another. So. But Yari, who was Teen Galaxy, Steph, all the BL girls, I haven't had the opportunity to see them since March. They did come over for the UK finals in March, and we got to some time together, but it'll be really nice because we have a Queen's Retreat first where we all get together and get to catch up just on life for a couple of days before all the madness starts. So I think it's just seeing them and obviously seeing Maria and her family and Galaxy, like Maria said, really is a big family. So there'll be ex-Queens there, there'll be so many people there who we just know through Galaxy, so it should be nice to be with them and catch up.
Have you sampled Maria's cooking?
I haven't, but I've heard it's legendary. So I am so excited for it, but I feel like it's probably not going to make me feel bikini ready. So I might have to be in small portions.
Yeah, I think it's beans and rice. So I think it's taste.
Yeah, it's digestible.
Wow. I think if you're on a low carb diet, you might struggle, but it sounds delicious. Beth, I'm just, before we go to the final 10 questions, and guys watching or just tuning in, if you have any questions for Beth, make sure you leave them below. But Beth, for people to follow your journey on social media, what are the best details? I've got your Instagram handle underneath, so at Ms. Galaxy 2019. What are the other best social platforms to get you on?
And Facebook, so Ms. Galaxy 2019, Beth Greenham. And then there is just a Ms. Galaxy page too, that kind of each queen each year takes over. So there's one that is run by Galaxy Pageants, and then there's one that's run by me. So there's both of those.
Sure, perfect. And I guess if any of the other Galaxy queens are watching this on the replay, and obviously they may not have competed internationally before in Galaxy, such as yourself, if they have any questions, you being a reigning queen, would you want them to just come up and ask you, or would you want them to sort of, because you seem quite approachable and you seem like you'd be quite happy to answer their questions?
100% come and ask me, because I like to think I am approachable, but also I'll always give you my honest answer. I'll never kind of sugarcoat things or tell you any lies or fibs. I'll always be completely honest with you on anything you would like to know, whether it's about me, pageantry, Galaxy, anything. Yeah, so please just come and approach me.
Perfect. I just wanted to get that in there. Okay, so guys, I'm going to run through the final 10 questions with Beth. If you have any questions, put them below, and I'll get them to Beth after the final 10 questions.
Sorry to be a really poor interviewee. I'm worried that my battery is going to die. I'm just going to run and get a charger. It's on the other side of the room.
Sure, go for it. So whilst Beth gets her charger, as I said, if you have any questions, put them down below. And thank you for tuning in. And sorry that we started 20 minutes late. That was actually my fault with tech issues, because my computer decided to update itself without my asking and stopped working. Jessica,
there we go.
I was just telling the viewers about the tech issues at the beginning, and Jessica Barclay has said, "Got to love tech." I used to work in IT, so when I can't get things working, it's really frustrating. And this is the first time it's ever given out on me. But we're here. Beth has fixed her charger. Beth, can you hear me?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Let's go into the final 10 questions. Did you hear Maria's answers to the final 10 questions?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
okay.
They were great, weren't they?
Well, you see if you can outdo her, because you're going to get exactly the same 10 questions. So here we go. Number 1. What is your favourite word?
My favourite word would have to be positivity. I think it's just so important, whether it's life, pageantry, relationships, everything that you do. You just need to keep a positive mindset. And, even when things are going wrong, it's so important to sort of, be a positive person. I think if you're a positive person, life will be positive too.
Absolutely.
So yeah, for me, it's positivity. Oh, which is just in the background of you.
Yeah, that's not an accident. That one there is to remind me because I can see it in the background of my own picture. Okay, so question 2. What is your least favourite word?
My least favourite word would have to be can't. I don't think you're incapable of achieving anything. You know, if you set your mind to it, if you really dedicate yourself, I really think people are capable of anything.
Perfect. Okay, in life, question 3, what gets you excited or what turns you on?
In life, what gets me excited is good people. I love being around people who I can, be a bounce off, really have a good and positive relationship with.
Sounds perfect. Okay, so then what turns you off?
What turns me off? Probably bad weather. How much does the weather reflect you? I don't know whether, you really experience this very much in Australia because it is so warm, but I think if you wake up and it's a sunny day, life is so much better. You feel more positive. You're up and at the day, whereas if it's raining, you just want to get back under the covers.
I think that's the main reason why everyone that I know who's come over from the UK to Australia has never wanted to go back. It's number 1, the weather, and number 2, the beaches.
Definitely.
Okay, question 5. What sound or noise do you love?
Sound or noise? I really love the noise of, popping bubble wrap when it's a package, and it's so satisfying when you twist it and they all pop. That would be a noise I love.
That's a different answer. Okay, so question 6. What sound or noise do you hate?
My alarm. I absolutely hate my alarm. I could sleep forever. I'm queen of sleeping, so definitely when my alarm goes off for work.
What time is your alarm set for? 6 a.m? 5 a.m?
No, I'm not too bad, actually. My alarm is set for 9:30 because I don't work until 2 in the afternoon, but because I work till late in the evening, the alarm going off also means it's time for the gym, which is, no one really wants to go to the gym, do they?
Some people do, I suppose. Question 7. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
If I could do anything, I'd probably be able to time travel.
Mm-hmm.
Past, future pageantry. I'd love to be able to see members it's going to be like in the future. So yeah, I think it would be time travel.
Okay, we got the time travel bit, but you just dropped out when you were explaining why, I think. So can you just explain why again? We only got the last part.
Oh yeah, of course. So I would just be able to, whether it's family members, whether it's, experiencing, pageantry gone by, because I think there was sort of like an era that I kind of missed where pageantry was huge and it was on the television here in the UK, and I would love to have experienced that side of it. But I would also love to be able to see family members who we've lost or see where my life's going to go in the future, things like that.
Perfect. Okay. Question 8. What's a job or occupation other than your own that you would most like to attempt?
Oh, I would have loved to have been a dance teacher. When I was younger, dancing really was my thing. It was my happy place. And when I was growing up, it was kind of, do I do a dance degree or do I do a maths degree? And I decided that if I did a dance degree, I would let, the maths fall off and I would never do it again. But I could still go to dance lessons, competitions, all that sort of stuff. So if I could do it again, I'd be a dance teacher.
So the the opening numbers for pageants must be a breeze for you then, if you've had dancing lessons.
Well, honestly, I absolutely love them. And Miss Australia, who was my runner-up this year, was also an amazing dancer. So we had a great time during it, but I don't think it's everyone's favourite part, is it? Because it doesn't sort of come naturally for everybody.
Okay, so question 9. What job or occupation would you definitely not like to attempt?
I don't think I'd be a very good vet.
I can see your dog, by the way. I can hear the dog, and I could see the snap.
Oh, can you? Do you know what? I love dogs, don't get me wrong, but the whole concept of maybe like farm animals or zoo animals, nice to look at. Whether I would like to kind of, have to be in more close proximity with them and dealing with other things, if you know what I mean. I just don't think that would be my cup of tea.
That's very understandable. Okay, so final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Oh, wow, what a gorgeous question. I would love to think that he would say, well done. You've taken every opportunity. You've been a good person. You've lived a full life, and you've treated other people around you how you would expect to be treated. It's been an easy watch. I haven't sort of had any sort of worries about where your life's going or anything like that. Yeah.
That sounds like a good answer. Jessica Barclay has said, wow, I'm up at 5 a.m. Maria is watching. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Maria.
I'm just thinking if we have any more questions. Beth, if you could final question then. Beth, if you could time travel from Tammy Lynette, if you could time travel, what would you tell your younger pageant self?
Oh, wow. I think I would tell myself to enjoy the journey. Sometimes, it can feel a bit stressful, or you can feel as though maybe you're not being given the opportunities that you feel like you've put the hard work in for and deserve. But I really do believe that everything happens for a reason, and timing is everything. So trust the journey and enjoy the highs and the lows along the way, because it's all going to end just how you would like it to.
Absolutely. Okay, well, Beth, thank you so much for your time, and sorry.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's been a pleasure. Sorry about the tech issues at the beginning. You've had tech issues on your end as well, so it's been an interesting interview. I will just keep you for a moment longer when we hang up. But if there are any Galaxy girls watching on the live stream or replay and you want to interview like Beth did, then do let me know. I know we're running out of time. When does the international competition start, Beth?
It starts Wednesday, so we fly out. The Queens fly out Wednesday. And then I think the delegates arrive Monday, Tuesday, and it starts Wednesday.
Okay. And got a whole bunch of other Galaxy contestants lined up to interview as well. But, Beth, thank you so much for your time once again. And
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Thanks to everyone for watching. And we will see you next time. Hey, it's Adrian. Thanks so much for listening to our podcast. Make sure to subscribe to get details of our new episodes as they drop. And connect with us on social at The Pageant Project. Speak to you next.